Inshallah, tonight we will resume the Tafseer of Surah Al Inshiqaq from verse number 7. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه. Then as for him who will be given his record in his right hand. My noble audience, in the previous ayat of this amazing surah, Allah spoke about the effort that a human being makes. And basically Allah Almighty concluded the verse, and this is verse number 6, by saying, قَدْحًا فَمُلَاقِي, that whatever effort a person makes, right or wrong, his final destination is when he stands in front of his Lord. He can be a pious person or he can be an evil person. It does not matter. Each day will push him to that ultimate meeting with his Creator. And he will stand in front of Allah Almighty. Now in verse number 7 onwards, Allah speaks about the different kinds of people that will stand in front of Allah on the Day of Judgment. Inshallah, tonight we have side by side two set of verses that basically relate a very similar message. We have been informed many a times that on the Day of Judgment, the book of deed will be placed on the right hand or will be placed on the left hand. Basically, if it is placed on the right hand, this indicates that this person has succeeded. And if it is placed on the left hand, this is an indication that this person has failed. And when a person receives the book of deed on the right hand, his body language, his reaction will be in conformity to that. And if he receives the book of deed on the left hand, his body language and his reaction will be conducive to that. In the current verses and the verses of Surah Al-Haqqa, Surah 69, verse 19 onwards, Allah Almighty speaks about the book of deed being placed on the right and on the left hand, and then speaks about the reaction of the human being. Now, of course, there is certain elements that have been covered in Surah Al Inshiqaq, and there are certain elements that have been covered in Surah Al-Haqqa. Inshallah, tonight, by the grace of Allah Almighty, we will discuss both side by side, so we can get a collective understanding of the reaction of a pious person, or let me use the word, a successful person, and a person of failure. So back to the current verse, verse number 7. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ. Then as for him who will be given his record in his right hand. Basically, the right side is a noble side. In Islam, the right side is known as the noble side, and the left side is known as the bad side. And this trickles into nearly every action that we commit to. The Nabi of Allah says, if you eat with the right hand. If you wear clothes, you start from the right side. If you enter the mosque, you enter with the right foot. And if we leave the masjid, we leave with the left foot. Because leaving the masjid compared to being outside the masjid is not noble. To be in the masjid is much more commendable. When taking off the clothes, a person places himself in the state of nudity. So the religion says start from the left side, not the right side. Keep your right side covered to the maximum. And when a person is eating, eat with the right. When a person is entering the bathroom, you enter with the left, because the domain outside the bathroom is much better than the domain inside the bathroom, because inside the bathroom a person is partially nude. So if we study the different laws extracted from the Quran, or the different practices by the Nabi of Allah, we will come to know that the right side is the noble side, and the left side compared to the right side is not so noble. Ashabul Yameen, Ashabul Shimal. The people on the right and the people on the left. Now, basically in this ayah, Allah is speaking about those that are noble. So what is the reaction that has been captured in Surah Al Inshiqaq? That has been related in verse number 8. فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسَبُ حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا. He surely will receive an easy reckoning. So this is the reward, the immediate reward of receiving the book of deed on the right hand. This is a reward. Now, Nabi Kareem Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has made mention of a very strong statement that is very, very much connected to this ayah of فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسَبُ حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا. مَنْ نُوقِشَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ هَلَكَ. Imam Bukhari in Sahih Bukhari has recorded on the authority of Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha that the Nabi of Allah says, مَنْ نُوقِشَ فِي الْحِسَابِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ هَلَكَ. If a person is scrutinized on the day of judgment, if he is scrutinized on the day of judgment, he will not escape the punishment of Allah. Basically, this means that if Allah says, why? You, me, and every person that has passed away, and every person that is living, and every person that is to come, he will be presented in front of his Creator. His account will be placed in front of Allah. But if Allah says, why? This means He has scrutinized the action. A person cannot safeguard himself. He will not have a sufficient reply to the question why. He will fall into destruction, into damnation. He cannot escape. Now Allah Almighty in this verse says, فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسَبُ حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا. This person who receives the book of deed on the right hand, the immediate reward is, he will receive an easy reckoning. Now what is the meaning of easy reckoning? That his book of deed will be placed in front of Allah, and Allah will look at it, but He will not scrutinize his actions by virtue of his faith. I want to say that again. Capture what I'm saying. The book will be placed in front of Allah. He cannot escape that, because it is the court of justice. His actions will not be scrutinized. Why? By virtue of his faith. His faith will come to his rescue that moment. That's why it is most important to refresh your iman, your faith. Jaddidu imanakum. The Nabi of Allah, he says, Jaddidu imanakum, renew your faith. قيل يا رسول الله وكيف نجدد إيماننا. Ya Rasulullah, how do we renew our faith? Even the clothes that I wear, the clothes that you wear, even if they are new, after 4, 5, 6 days, they need to be renewed by placing in the washing machine. We have to clean them. Our faith becomes dirty. There are specks of haram that are dotted upon this attire of faith. We need to renew the faith. So the Sahaba say, what is the method of renewing the faith? And the Nabi of Allah says, أَكْثِرُوا مِنْ قَوْلِ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Say La ilaha illallah in abundance. The more you say La ilaha illallah, even if it is a mere utterance, and it is not said with conviction, And it is not said with contemplation. The barakat of the word La ilaha illallah will renew the condition of your heart and will renew the faith. And if it is said with contemplation and with understanding, indeed a person will find that he has been rejuvenated. He will find himself on a new podium. So a person will not be scrutinized by virtue of his faith on that day. This is what Allah Almighty is saying. Now, in Surah Al Inshiqaq, Surah number 88, the last verse, ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ. The verse preceding to this, إِنَّ إِلَيْنَا إِيَابَهُمْ. Verily you are to return to us. Alright? We are all to return to Allah. What unfolds after we return to our Creator? ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ. Then we will test you. We will judge you. We will look at your book of deed. The Sahaba say that when the Nabi of Allah recited the last verses of Surah Al Inshiqaq, ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ, the Nabi of Allah immediately used to attach the supplication, Allahumma hasibni hisaban yasira. Ya Allah, grant me an easy reckoning. And what is an easy reckoning? It is that the book of deed is presented, Allah goes through it. Not only goes through it, He does not scrutinize it by virtue of his faith and allows him to pass that very, very critical junction and make it to Jannah. There are amazing stories that Imam al-Qurtubi in Tafseer al-Qurtubi has recorded to this junction where Allah will ask the person, or the book of deed will be presented to Allah. And I would like to make mention of one story, just one story, that will allow us to look at this world differently and look at people differently, especially the wrongdoings of people differently. On the Day of Judgment, one person will be veiled. So a discussion will take place between the Creator and the creation. Indeed, his book of deed is not very, very healthy. It is not presentable. But of course, in the book of deed, Iman is waiting. The Iman is there in the book of deed. So Allah will place a veil. The discussion will not be heard by the makhluk. Allah will forgive him immediately and say that I will not allow you to be disgraced amongst the makhluk, and I will not allow the makhluk to know of your faults, because in the world you used to conceal the faults of people. وَمَنْ سَتَرَ مُسْلِمًا سَتَرَهُ اللَّهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. If you conceal the faults of people, Allah will conceal your faults. So you may have many bad deeds in your book of deeds, but you did not open your mouth when it used to come to the faults of people. So I am going to conceal all your faults. The veil will be removed and this person will go to Jannah. The entire makhluk will think that he has gone to Jannah by virtue of his iman and his a'mal salihah, and he was a wali of Allah. But the case was very, very different. I'm just going to make mention, for many months, I've been trying to educate my family by saying that do not become judgmental. Do not worry about other people. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Do not become judgmental. I'm going to share a small story. A few weeks ago, I made an announcement on Friday. Jumabia. After that, I said that we should try to make it to the Karabi Mosque to participate in a janazah. Remember I made that announcement? And I said that the person, he is a convert and he has no family member. So the more people that will go, it will give him happiness. So we should try to go. So this was an announcement, it was a general announcement. So that same night somebody rings me, says, Imam Sahib, I didn't see you there. He wasted his amal by saying that. You do your own amal. So he went there, he was looking for Imam Uzair. Where's Imam Uzair? Because he made the announcement. Allah. What is the mindset of people? What is the mindset? I said, do you know where I am at 3 o'clock? I may have a prior appointment. And I didn't say that I am going to go. I made a general announcement. But he was there, so he wanted everyone to be there. So he felt neglected because Imam Uzair made the announcement and he's not there. Now this mindset will throw a person in many, many wrong places. Just do the right thing by yourself. If it is something that is compulsory, indeed the da'wah becomes compulsory. And if it is something that is not compulsory, then the da'wah is not compulsory. This is a law of da'wah. So Allah Almighty says, فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسَبُ حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا. He surely will receive an easy reckoning. وَيَنْقَلِبُ إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا. And will return to his family in joy. Now I want you to depict this. One person, people are standing in droves, in multitudes. So many people are standing. Some people have been to that junction and have moved on, and some people are waiting their turn. And let's say one person, he makes it there, and he receives the book of deed on his right hand, and the reckoning is easy. And Allah says, you have succeeded. The Quran says he returns to his family. Where's his family? Where is his family? One person that has not given an exam, and you go to him and you say, I have succeeded. He said, I don't care. I need to find out where I stand. Does that make sense? One person, he has to give an exam. You give your exam, receive the title of success, and you return back to that person that is waiting his turn. He's not going to enjoy the news because he's anxious of his own exam. So many scholars are of this understanding. وَيَنْقَلِبُ إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا. He will return to his family. This is the family that Allah has created for him by virtue of his good deeds in Jannah. That is his family waiting. Because from here, he will go to Jannah. So the family is waiting there. So here's Khuddam, the hadith of Tirmidhi, 80,000 Khuddam. Each person will get 80,000 servants. This is the hadith of Tirmidhi. Then you will have Huris. They're all waiting for him there. Now this is one understanding. The second understanding is that, and this is amazing understanding, that his family members that have made it across will wait for him to come. His family members that have made it through that junction and have been dealt with hisaban yasira will not move on unless he passes through this junction. So they're waiting for him in the field of resurrection, in the grounds of resurrection. So when he passes, he returns to his family and he says, I have passed as well. Now we are one big family, let's go to Jannah. وَيَنْقَلِبُ إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا. And that's why it's very, very important that we work together. My understanding, observation, and this is through experience, that many a times we find one person in the family, he excels, but he doesn't carry the family with him. And he leaves his family behind and finds himself on a higher podium and speaks to his family members from that high podium. They can't see him. They can't hear him because he's too high. They can't see him, they can't hear him because he's too high. That's why we have to excel gradually, progressively, taking the family with you, by leaving the family members behind, there's imbalance. What does Islam say? That there is balance in life. That a person attain perfection at every level, in every domain, and attain excellence in every relationship. Husband goes up and leaves the wife behind. Mother and father, they go up, leave children behind. No. You have to travel together. You have to try your best. I'm not saying it's easy. But I'm not saying it's impossible. It is possible. And keep in mind, if a person is on a higher podium, he has to drop down. Has to drop down. Has to place himself on the same level of the person that is receiving the da'wah from you. In Urdu, what does the mother say to the child when she gives him roti? Roti shoti kha. Roti shoti. Now roti means khubz. Shoti is no word. But the mother will drop down to the level of the child so he can understand, because she wants him to take the bread. Allah Almighty, the creator of this entire universe, He's speaking to us in the Quran. He drops down to our level. He takes an oath of the sun that He created. He takes an oath of the moon that He created. He takes an oath of a star that He created. Because the person that He is addressing, for that person the star is significant. For that person the moon is significant. For that person the sun is significant. So He will drop down to their level. Allah could have said, I swear by my honor. I swear by my honor, by my greatness, by my majesty. But no, He's addressing the human being. He drops to their level. If I'm going to take an oath, I have to take an oath of something that is greater than me. True. So I say, I swear by Allah. There's nothing greater than Allah. Allah should have said, I swear by my greatness. But no, the person that He's addressing, he will not understand. He drops to his level. وَيَنْقَلِبُ إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا. He will return to his family very, very happy. So you can understand the two different meanings of Ahl. Where is this family? Who is this family? The flip side. Now, before we go to the second part, I would like to shed light upon the verses of Surah Al Inshiqaq that speak about the person that is receiving the book of deed in the right hand. Alright. So Surah Al Inshiqaq, verse number 19. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ فَيَقُولُ هَا أُبُقْرَأُ كِتَابِيَهِ. Then as for him who will be given his record in his right hand, will say, take, read my record. Now this verse gives us an understanding that he is addressing the family of this world. He's addressing the family of this world. Because the family that Allah has created have no connection with the book of record. Because they've been created by the will of Allah. They don't understand the endeavor behind improving faith. The endeavor behind committing to good deeds. So basically this ayah of Al-Haqqa gives us an understanding that the family that he will go to and show his ticket of Jannah will be the family that he lived with in this world. So basically that family is standing on the side as well. Now that family consists of the wife, husband, father, mother, children, so on and so forth. And then what will he say? Inni ظَنَنْتُ أَنِّي مُلَاقٍ حِسَابِيَ. Surely I did believe that I shall meet my account. I believed. What does, and I recite this verse all the time. What does Allah Almighty say in the last verse of Surah Al-Kahf, Surah number 18, 110? فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. A person that believes that he's going to meet Allah, liqa'i Rabb, who's going to meet Allah. He believes that he has to adorn himself with something. He has to adorn himself with good deeds. He needs the package of good to be presented the time he meets his Creator. You don't go to a king empty-handed. We don't even go to our friend's house empty-handed. We go for a aqiqah, we take something. The wife has to do shopping one day before. We go to a function, we take something. We're going to the Creator of this entire universe, and we go empty-handed, and we believe that we're going to meet Him. Allahu Akbar. Isn't that hypocritical? I know that tomorrow I've got an invitation. I can't go empty-handed. Child is born. They say, Mom, I've come. I have to give something. I know that I'm going to meet my Creator, and I'm going empty-handed. What kind of preparation is this? So what does this person say? Inni dhanantu anni mulaqin hisabiya. I knew that I was going to meet my Allah. And add to this the last verse of Surah Kahf. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا. Do good deeds and abstain from polytheism. Do not associate partners with Allah Almighty. Now Allah Almighty says, فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. So he shall be in a life well-pleasing. Basically, from that moment onwards. Now I'm going to put a scenario to you, because I want you to really understand the different junctions on the Day of Judgment. I want you to place yourself in that domain. So a person has just been in front of his Creator. Before being presented in front of the Creator, he received the book of deed on his right hand. Follow this. Follow this order. He receives the book of deed on his right hand. That in itself means he has passed, succeeded. Now he has to go to his Creator. He knows the reward of this, Allahu Akbar, is what? Hisaban yasira. Do you think that that person that is going to his Creator, he's waiting his turn and now he's standing in front of his Creator, what will be the sentiment of that person that will stand in front of his Allah knowing that he has succeeded? It is going to be enjoyable. It's going to be enjoyable. So the first didar of Allah is not in Jannah. The first look of Allah is not in Jannah. It is before Jannah. And now think about it. Allah has spoken to this person and granted him an easy passage. What great ecstasy this person is experiencing now. What great ecstasy. It doesn't matter what junctions come after that. They will pass quickly because a person is only thinking about that meeting with his Creator. And that is another dimension of that statement, that people will pass the bridge at the speed of lightning. Indeed, it is going to be horrific. The sight is horrific. But the person has succeeded. He has succeeded well before. He knows that the one that has created this horrific sight and the bridge over it is happy with me. He will take me over. Indeed, as a human being, there's going to be anxiety. As humans, even if I know that the strongest person, he is on my side, but if I'm walking into the den of a lion, you're going to be very, very scared. I was in Mauritius just now, and I went into the den. I stood beside the lion. Now, there were many people around me, but my heart was beating. And especially when the lion went like this, and looked at me once, captured that picture as well. My heart was 1,000 miles. But I knew that the lion couldn't do anything, because before he gets to me, he has to eat up all these people, and by that time I'll be out. But still, this anxiety, human nature. So when people make it to that horrific sight, the edge of An-Nar, the bridge, they have received the ticket well before. But anxiety as a human being, and they will pass at the speed of lightning. Because the proclamation, فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ, that now go and live in bliss, has been made when he comes from that gathering from Allah Almighty. He has received this proclamation. And go and live in bliss. Kutufuha daniya, the fruits in bunches whereof will be low and near at hand. I don't want to comment upon this because we're going to drift away from the topic. Kulu washrabu hani'an bima aslaftum fil ayyam al-khaliya. Eat and drink at ease for that which you have sent on before you in days past. Now you are going to enjoy the fruit of your effort. Alright. Now we come back to Surah Al Inshiqaq. Because we have discussed the ayat pertaining to receiving the book on the right hand in Surah Inshiqaq and Surah Al-Haqqa. Now we return back to the current Surah, Surah Al Inshiqaq, and we will discuss the ayat pertaining to that person. Allahumma la taj'alna minhum. Allah safeguard us from being from the left people that receive it on the left hand. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ وَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ وَرَاءَ ظَهْرِهِ. But whosoever is given his record behind his back. Now Allah does not use the word left hand. Indeed in Surah Haqqa Allah is going to use the left hand. But in this surah Allah says from behind. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Who is going to give the book of deed? Basically it is going to fly in the hand. So the book of deed is going to fly in the hand, but it has been said the malaika will carry these tickets. Malaika will place it. Why is it going to be given behind the human being? So the scholars have said the angels will be so disgusted with this person that they don't want to look at the face. The malaika are so disgusted with this person because Allah is disgusted with this person that they will not want to look at the face. If they had to place it in the left hand in front, they had to look at the person. Right now, after Allah, you know who your closest friend is? Your closest friend that never leaves you? It is the malaika. نَحْنُ أَوْلِيَاؤُكُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ. We were your friends. As long as you are the friend of Allah, angel is your friend. If you are the enemy of Allah, the angel is the enemy. In the battle of Badr, who descended? The malaika descended. فَضْرِبُوا فَوْقَ الْأَعْنَاقِ. In Surah Al-Anfal, Allah Almighty makes mention, they physically fought. Because the people that they fought with were the enemies of Allah. So the angels, their friendship, their animosity is based upon the friendship of Allah. If a person befriends Allah, you should know that you've got such a large group of creation that is your friend. So now what happens is the angels don't want to see this person, so they come from the back. This is one understanding. Second understanding of the Mufassirun is that basically when a person is a perpetrator of a crime, the crime has been substantiated, they tie his hands. Tying your hand is an indication that this person is a criminal. So he will receive the book of deed in his left hand, and left in itself is the bad side, but it will be behind his back because he's a criminal. And this will happen automatically. His hands will go automatically behind. And he will stand as a criminal. And that's why many scholars say that we should not walk like this. Many scholars say you should not walk like this. This is the posture of a criminal on the day of judgment. Not like this. So always your hands in front or on the sides, but not behind. So we try to make this a practice. So he will receive it behind. فَسَوْفَ يَدْعُو ثُبُورًا. He will invoke his destruction. He will invoke his destruction under the impression that if he does that, that will bring an end to this pain. But it's not going to bring an end to anything. He will say, I hope that I die. And this is my final moment. He will do this because he thinks by doing this, death will take over. But death will be given death, so there will be no death. Death will be given death, there will be no death. So from this moment onwards, there is eternal perdition, eternal damnation, eternal pain, eternal torture. Allah saved us. فَسَوْفَ يَدْعُو ثُبُورًا وَيَصْلَى سَعِيرًا, and he shall enter a blazing fire. إِنَّهُ, and this is so important, this ayah. إِنَّهُ كَانَ فِي أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا, verily he was among the people in joy. Oh, we're talking about the person that receives the book of Deen on his right or on his left? Left. Now Allah Almighty says, إِنَّهُ كَانَ فِي أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا, verily he was among his people in joy. So basically, this person that was oblivious to Akhirah, oblivious to Allah, he used to live his life and go home, sit amongst his family and forget about Allah even further. He was happy with his family. He used to work from 8 to 5. Wake up, have breakfast, read the newspaper, work from 8 to 5, come back, spend time with his family, spend time with his children, take them to the soccer, take them to the cricket, come back and go to sleep. Where was the Creator? Where was the preparation of Akhirah? It was not there. He was very, very happy. I'm going to recite a verse that will be uttered by us, that is very, very well connected to the verse that we are discussing, and it is from Surah 2. Surah 2. So Surah 2, Surah number 52, verse 26. إِنَّا كُنَّا قَبْلَ فِي أَهْلِنَا مُشْفِقِينَ. Strong ayat. إِنَّا كُنَّا قَبْلَ فِي أَهْلِنَا مُشْفِقِينَ. The believers, they will say, the believers, they will say, we were anxious even when we were with our family. We were anxious even if we were with our family. We see our children running around. We are giggling, we are laughing, we are enjoying the moment, but we are still anxious. We are worried about Akhirah. And I'm going to make mention of a story. Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahib Damat Barakatuh, his mentor, Dr. Abdul Hayy Arifi, Rahimahullah. So he was once giving advice to the students, and all these students are legends right now in Pakistan, the greatest scholars in Pakistan. So he was once amongst his family, the children were running around, and he was picking the children, kissing the children, laughing with the children. And this is a sunnah. Nabi Kareem says a person that does not kiss children, he is deprived of mercy. In Arabia, where our Nabi was sent, it was not the norm to show raham to the children. So when the Nabi of Allah used to pick up the children and hug them and kiss them and show raham to them, one Sahabi, he questioned, he says, Ya Rasulullah, even you kissed the children? And the Nabi of Allah says that I can't do anything about that person that is deprived of love. The disposition of a human being is to show raham. It is to show that raham. So this is a sunnah as well. Nabi Kareem, when he used to come home, he used to visit his daughter, he used to kiss her on the forehead. He used to play with Hassan and Hussein, radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. The very famous incident that he had a shawl. Somebody knocked on the door, Nabi Kareem walked outside, the person started to speak to the Nabi of Allah, and he could find that the shawl was moving. He could not figure out why it was moving. So after a few moments, Hazrat Hussein's head popped out, and after a few moments, Hazrat Hassan's head popped out. They were inside the shawl of the Nabi of Allah. The love that a person has for the children. So Dr. Abdul Hayy Arifi, rahimahullah, he was playing with the children, and the students, one of them, Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahib, Daman Barakatuh, he was watching. And after the children left, Dr. Abdul Hayy Arifi, rahimahullah, said that, what did you witness today? He said, we witnessed that you were playing with the children. He says, indeed I was, but he said, I swear by Allah, every second I was spending with the child, I did not forget my Creator. Every single second, I did not forget my Creator. I was connected with Allah. So Islam doesn't say enjoy, but Islam says don't forget. Because if you don't forget the ring, مِنْهَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ وَمِنْهَا نُخْرِجُكُمْ تَارَةً أُخْرَى. If you don't forget that your choices in life will be noble. We only collapse and we only become derailed when that announcement fades away and when we disconnect from our Creator. So what do the believers say? Surah 52 verse 26, إِنَّا كُنَّا قَبْلُ. That before this, we were with our family, mushfiqeen, and we were very anxious. We were talking to our wife, we were saying to our wife, I love you. We're expressing I love you, but at the same time the mind was saying I love you, Allah. You were kissing your children, but at the same time you were kissing the throne of Allah. That connection has never broken at any time. But the person that receives the book of Deen on the left hand, what does Allah Almighty say? What does Allah Almighty say? إِنَّهُ كَانَ فِي أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا. He was happy with his family, but there was no room for Allah. There was no room for Allah. There was no room to cultivate his akhirah. I'm going to conclude in a few moments. I'd like to make mention of a story that Maulana Rumi, rahimahullah, in his Mathnawi Sharif has made mention of. And these stories that ulama have made mention of, they're very inspiring. You know, they encourage us to be a better person. So there was one person, he entered the mosque. And he found that in the corner there was such a handsome person that was sitting in the corner. He looked at him and he couldn't figure out who he was because he has never seen him before. So he was a local. So I've been in Holland Park Mosque for some time, people coming in and out, you know me, I know you, because we are regular at the masjid. He was a regular. This person sitting in the corner, he couldn't recognize him. Who is this person? Anyway, he looked at his ibadat was perfect. He was very much connected in his ibadat. After making his dua, this person went to him and said, who are you? Who are you? He said, I am that person that is not invited to weddings. I am that person that is not invited to funerals. I am that person that is not invited to the shopping centers. I am that person that is not invited to the homes. I am that person that is not invited by anyone. So the only place that I am invited is the masjid. So the person was very confused. He said, what do you mean? You're not invited to weddings, you're not invited to aqiqahs, you're not invited to janazas, you're not invited to the trade places, to commerce, blah, blah, blah. You're not invited to the masjid? He said, yes. He said, what's your name? He said, my name is Islam. I am Islam. Islam is not invited to the weddings. Islam is not invited to the janazas. Islam is not invited to the trade places. What are our transactions? Does Islam dictate our transactions? Are our weddings dictated by Islam? So basically, if you say to the bridegroom or to the bride, to the parents, please practice Islam in this wedding, they say, let us enjoy. Meaning enjoyment, Islam can't come. Islam can't come. Islam can't even come into our funerals. We got our own innovations. We look at our transactions, Islam is not allowed there. So the only place Islam is allowed in the masjid. Suddenly we come into the masjid and we become Muslims. Some person speaks loudly, hey, don't speak loudly. Somebody does something wrong, why are you doing wrong? Suddenly Islam is activated in the masjid. But what is Allah Almighty saying? No. This activation, this partial activation, is not the characteristic of a believer. You have to be activated 24/7. It doesn't matter where you are. And that's why they say, even if you're in the shopping center, you get reward because you're activated. You're remembering Allah even in the shopping center. Your reward is multiplying. You're walking down the street. You lower your gaze. You adorn yourself with modesty. And that will only happen when you are activated. Your reward is multiplying. This partial activation or no activation is the evil trait of those people that will receive the book of deed on the left hand. Because they were happy in their family, but they were not activated. Just happy, that's it. Happiness is not our maqsad. Happiness is not our maqsad. Happiness is the true happiness is the product of connection with Allah. Keep that in mind. We're going to conclude this ayah. إِنَّهُ ظَنَّ أَن لَن يَحُورَ. Verily he thought that he would never come back to us. Allah. He never thought that he would come back to us. You know the world that we live in nowadays, I call it quicksand. It just sucks you in. It's so hard to come out. The Nabi of Allah says, "Kun fi dunya ka'annaka qariba wa 'abiru sabil." I can't practice this. I'm talking about myself. Living this dunya as a stranger or as a wayfarer doesn't happen. A person finds himself each day, he is pushed forward into this dunya. He's immersed in this dunya. It's so hard, it is quicksand. And he thinks that he's never going to come out of this domain. What does he say in the glorious Quran? What does Allah say? Hayhata lima tu'adun. Hayhata lima tu'adun. Surah Mu'minun, Surah number 23, verse 36-37. Hayhata lima tu'adun. Something interesting on a light note. I'm taking some time because the food is not cooked today. That's serious. So we started late, so they said that the food is going to be 8:30, so we're going to take some time. Hayhata lima tu'adun. Surah Mu'minun. On a lighter note, when we were doing hifz, hayhata means far, far away. Far, far away is that which you have been promised. Hayhata lima tu'adun. Far, far away is that which you have been promised. Now when we were doing hifz, we start from the 30th juz. It is a fairy tale in the madaris, in the madrasas. I'm not saying it's hadith or anything, but it's something that is understood in the madaris. They say that a child may not complete his hifz because there may be a deterrent and he may move away from hifz. He does 1 juz, he moves away. He does 2 juz, he moves away. Sometimes we have seen children that do 10 juz and he moves away. But they say if he makes it to hayhata lima tu'adun, he will complete the hifz because basically he's saying to the shaitan, far, far away. This is the understanding in the madaris in Pakistan. It's not authentic. This is understanding. Basically the translation of hayhata lima tu'adun is far, far away is that which has been promised. They're talking about the day of Akhirah. In hiya illa hayatuna dunya namutu wa nahya wa ma nahnu bimab'uthin. They say that this life of this world is you die, you live, and that's it. And then you're never ever resurrected. ذَلِكَ رَجْعٌ بَعِيدٌ. This return is very, very far away. ذَلِكَ رَجْعٌ. This return is ba'id, it is very, very far away. They could not comprehend this. And this is what Allah Almighty is saying in this ayah. إِنَّهُ ظَنَّ أَن لَن يَحُورَ. Hara yahuru means to return. So really he thought that he... This is a sign from Allah, stop. Really he thought that he would not come back to us. We're going to have to stop on that. Allahu Akbar Kabira. Next week, the lesson is very, very interesting. And I'm not saying this to lure you in for next week. That is not... We're back again. We're going to conclude the last verse. Bala inna rabbahu kana bihi basira. This is the last. Yes, verily his Lord has been ever beholding him. Meaning Allah is looking at him at all times. Next week, and you will be amazed by the construction of the message in the coming verses. فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالشَّفَقِ وَاللَّيْلِ وَمَا وَسَقَ وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا اتَّسَقَ. And I've been doing tafsir for the last 11, 12 years. Each time I read these verses, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالشَّفَقِ, Allah puts new things in my mind. Amazing verses, right? So I think our tafsir has been accepted, rahmat has descended. So we all read, Allahumma sayyiban nafi'a. Ya Allah, your rain is a sign of rahmah. Ya Allah, shower your rahmah upon us by making us those people that will receive the book of deen on the right hand. And Ya Allah, allow us to unite with our family on the day of judgment and give us an easy pass into Jannatul Firdaus. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.